对，一二三。
好。那转到另外，等一下，对，一二三，一二三。它的开关在上面，
就一样是两段式嘛，先开到中间等1秒，再开到3秒。喂，嗨。
各位来宾，大家早安！欢迎大家参加经济部工业局举办的亚太智慧校园研讨会。会议即将在5分钟后开始，请大家尽速入座。假如您尚未完成报到手续，请至外面服务台办理。提醒您，如果您需要办理公务人员或是教师研习时数，也请记得到场外登记。本次提供 同步口译设备，您可以需带个人证件至场外服务台租借。为了维护会场品质，请将您的手机调整为静音。谢谢您的配合。
各位贵宾，大家好，欢迎各位参加亚太智慧校园研讨会。本次活动的主办单位是经济部工业局，而执行单位是自测会数位教育研究所。今天上午在同样的2楼 H 展区，还有国际智慧校园展览已经到第2天咯。超过100家智慧校园的业者以整合的方式展出解决方案，希望大家参观体验，了解国内产业在智慧校园的重大的进程发展。本次研讨会非常荣幸的邀请到在座各位的产官学研专家，以及远从世界各地远道而来的学者专家，与我们共襄盛举，一起来分享智慧校园创新教育的趋势和发展，以及各国创新方案的导入经验，期待描绘各国在全球在智慧校园的永续愿景。好，首先让我们以热烈的掌声来邀请与会的贵宾起身向大家挥手致意。At first, we'd like to introduce our honorable guest today, and if your name is called upon, please stand up and wave your hand to everyone. 首先有请经济部工业局吕正华副局长，经济部工业局林青青科长，自测会数位教育研究所蔡义昌副所长，以及我们的今天坚强的讲师阵容，香港浸信会天虹小学朱子颖校长，新加坡工艺教育局科技发展中心的郑传安经理，曼谷都会教育管理顾问，曼谷都会管理局教育顾问 ，Professor Kongkiti Phusavat， 澳门电信商业服务的发展部黄永简总监，以及还有我们刚刚提到远从各地而来的贵宾首先是远从阿曼来的数位内容和教育部的长官。E-Content and E-Learning Department Ministry of Education Deputy Director Isa， OK， 还有Intel 带领了众多的同仁一起来共襄盛举，让我们欢迎Intel Solution Architect Richard Patel， 还有Lenancom Corporation 的 CEO Terachan Nasatu Power。OK， 好，谢谢各位的莅临。那智慧校园是近年来全球各国都在投资的一个重点。那在台湾的产业也有重大的发展和进步。那幕后的工程、幕后的推手，那是我们的主办单位经济部工业局。首先邀请工业局的代表吕正华副局长为我们致辞，有请吕副局长。Welcome Dr. 郑华吕 Deputy Director General, Industrial Development Bureau, Ministry of Economic Affairs。
我们自测会蔡副所长，以及呢今天来自香港、来自新加坡、来自澳门的各个，还有泰国的各个国外的贵宾，那以及呢各位女士、各位先生，大家早安，大家好。
早安。
我今天非常高兴能够代表工业局来参加我们今天亚太智慧校园的一个研讨会哈。那我们知道 Digital Taipei 在我们推动这几年下来呢，其实在智慧校园这里面呢，其实我们发展的非常的好。那尤其呢，我们能够邀请到世界各国，尤其亚太地区这边在智慧校园发展的非常有经验的专家学者来跟我们共同分享。那我们的厂商呢，也透过我们智慧输出的模式，那透过自测会数教所的努力，包括在越南，包括在大陆，包括在泰国，我们都有很好的一个表现跟成果。那我们这样推动下来之后呢，其实这个智慧校园的 iCampus， 所以这个 I 呢，其实 Intel也非常重要，所以呢，我们今天特别有邀请多位的 Intel 的专家们 来参加我们今天的一个研讨会。那这一次的在将推动3年下来呢，已经在国内外有建制了41所的智慧校园的示范学校。那这些呢，其实我们在越南刚提到的一个输出的案例呢，其实往往在行政部门成为我们的系统整合输出里头的重要的案例。那我们希望把这样的案例呢，也能够扩展到其他的地区。那尤其现在政府正在推动新南向政策，那这个其实呢智慧教园的这种教育的模式，那以及呢软硬整合，把我们好的软体加硬体的这种校园的解决方案，能够在国外有很好的落实。那这个不止厂商能够赚钱，也能够协助我们的东南亚地区的国家呢，大家共同把教育这个事业做得更好。那我们其实在这一次的研讨会是用亚太地区智慧校园发展为核心。刚刚司仪已经介绍来自香港、新加坡、泰国的教育专家，那待会会跟大家共同分享推动的经验。那这个里头包括在新加坡运用虚拟实境在科技教育上面，健康照护的训练，以及呢泰国校园学习科技发展蓝图。那尤其香港的天虹小校呢，其实校长今天亲自出席啊，他翻转再造的成功案例。我想这样的一个专家分享的课题跟内容，对于我们在智慧校园推动的过程之中呢，其实有非常非常好的一个注意。那大家共同来研讨这样的议题，汇集这么多在学习领域、跨领域创新，还有校园智慧化服务等等的贵宾，共同来去做研商。其实呢，希望大家回去之后呢，都能够收获满满。那尤其这么早9点，大家都已经坐的快要没有位置哈，我想再晚一点进来，可能自己要搬椅子进来哈。那这个其实显现大家对于智慧校园的关心，那也代表工业局在这边特别感谢大家长期在这个领域的关注。好，能够愿意让台湾的产业，其实在多元发展当中呢，对于智慧校园这一块，能够获得更好的系统解决方案，更好的一个创意做法。那除了厂商自己本身能够赚得一些应得的利润之外，也让台湾的这个好的 solution 的方向，为全人类共同在智慧校园上面能够让莘莘学子的教育有更好的一个解决方案哈。那最后祝福大家身体健康，万事如意，谢谢大家。
好，谢谢吕副局长。接下来我们有请承办单位财团法人资讯工业策进会数位教育研究所的蔡义昌副所长为我们致辞，欢迎蔡副所长。Let's welcome Yi Chang Cai, Deputy Director General, Digital Education Institute, Institute for Information Industry.
我们尊敬的吕副局长，还有我们各国的贵宾，还有我们今天这么早就来的各界的先进大家上午好。
好，上午好。
那刚刚我们吕副已经把整个大的众生期待为我们今天的研讨会揭开序幕。但其实我想各位都是从事教育跟产业这是一个很难得结合事业跟志业的一个市场方向，因为各位的产品就是进入校园，所以如果校园使用得很好，我相信校长老师他更能够花更多的心思在学生的照顾。那学生如果在一个到处都是支持他学习的环境，我想学生更乐于享受这样的学习气氛。但所有教育的事业，所有教育的创新，如同我们各位先进今天来分享，其实有时候都很孤独因为毕竟教育领域在大部分的地区都有比较多对于新的事情的质疑。那尤其第二个，教育我们当然都希望用最好的，但我们通常心里面都还是觉得教育还是要均衡。所以请到下一页。我刚刚就跟我们吕副局长提到说，其实支持我们这个执行单位在很多偏乡地区这样投入用学习科技， 这个是台湾在大概7年前吧，哈，我们有一个很大的风灾，叫88风灾。我们南部呢，整个县市啊都遭受很大的冲击。那时候我们就想说，那这些偏乡地区，它的学校有些是整个淹掉，那大部分学校呢是停学。那我们就想，那我们一直在推动数位学习，我们能做些什么？那这时候我们吕副局长就支持我们做什么呢？我们把数位学习、把影音直播、把智慧教室跟我们这些偏乡受灾的学校来做整合。所以我们在目前，等一下各位可以看到我们廖主任会播一些影片，其实这些影片的起心动念都来自于这件事情。那这虽然很久了，但一件事情的成就我们不敢说成功，其实就是透过第一个，我们有这样长官的支持；第二个，有各位现场工作人员老师的支持；当然第三个，因为我想一个理念还是要想到它的永续。其实我们透过各位产业界的投入，使得我们能够继续走到现在。当然，我们也更希望在未来能够跟刚刚我们吕副局长提到，我们跟英特尔的合作，跟我们世界各国专家的合作，我们能够把事业变成志业，然后也配合每一个国家他对教育创新的期待，支持这些创新者成功。我想创新者能够成功，我们的产业也就成功。那在这边也预祝我们今天各位观众能够从我们各位这个各国来的主讲的身上学到我们很多宝贵的经验。尤其是，其实我这边特别请大家一定要试着去理解，像我们曼谷的先进提到，曼谷它在推动智慧教育，它一开始就是每个人一台平板，然后就开始往下走了那可能我们还在学生用平板会不会造成视力伤害，我们还在这个点的时候，我想我们更可以理解曼谷当它全面推动之后，它重新产生了蓝图。所以一路回来，我们来看。我们新加坡伙伴更告诉我们，他们在技职体系里面 AR、VR 怎么样的应用？那当然，我们那个浸信会小学校长告诉大家，其实创新其实是可以很愉快的，创新其实不孤独所以我其实非常期待我们今天丰硕的的分享的成果。那当然也预祝我们今天大会顺利成功，大家身体健康，谢谢。
谢谢蔡副所长。让我们一同为在座各位关切智慧校园发展的专家，今天能够齐聚一堂而庆贺。所以让我们邀请各位讲者和贵宾到舞台上来，和我们一同留下一期一会的大合照。Now let's invite all our honorable guests come to the stage and let's begin our opening ceremony. 首先恭请主办单位经济部工业局吕正华副局长，以及执行单位的代表资策会数位教育研究所蔡以昌副所长。第一位讲者，香港浸信会天虹小学朱子颖校长。新加坡工艺教育管理局科技发展中心郑传安经理。曼谷都会管理局教育顾问 Mr. Kongkiti Phusavat。澳门电信商业服务发展部黄永简总监。有请现场的媒体朋友为我们留下这些珍贵的画面。Are you ready? Let's shake a cheese. Maybe you can show us the V gesture or 好，2016亚太智慧校园研讨会正式开始。期望智慧校园的擘画的愿景，为产业开启无限的商机，展出成功。接下来都是大家很精彩、很期待的演讲哦。首先，在台湾或全球，我们都希望以整合化的学习科技环境来支持学习者的发展。所以我们邀请到资策会数位教育研究所创新学习中心的廖兆宏主任，与我们分享 国际智慧校园的发展趋势，以及台湾未来教育推动的愿景。我们用热烈掌声欢迎廖兆宏主任 ，Dr. John Liao， Director Digital Education Institute Information Industry。
Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to join this conference. Today, I would like to share with you about the experience of promoting iCampus program in Taiwan. I'm John Liao from III, which has been recognized as one of the most important think tank for the Taiwanese government for about, 37 years. In my department, we focus on the research topics regarding the most advanced learning technologies, learning innovations, and also the educational policies in many different countries all over the world. Today, I would like to share with you about 2 points. Just two, no big deal. The first one is what we have achieved in the past 4 years. And the second is what is the future about iCampus. Because most of the participants today, I thought, come from Taiwan. Anybody from China? Okay, forget it. Anyway, most of the participants today is native Chinese speakers, so I was speaking Chinese later for my speech. However, no matter what kind of language I use, I hope my sharing today will be valuable to all of you. Before that, I have a video would like to share with you at first.
我们班就只有我们2个人。我很想知道很多人上课是什么感觉。
这应该不到20个哦，不只是对不起祖先了，这个是会变成罪人一样的。
小朋友的智力或者是我觉得学习能力并不会输都市的小孩，有一种说不上的感觉，就是感觉我丢出去的东西，小朋友接收到的程度并不是这么的高。
我很喜欢这种上课方式，因为可以跟别的年级的小朋友，有别的学校的小朋友一起上课，老师还是外国人。我希望这种上课方式可以继续，这样很多学校就不会被废校了。
小朋友都能学习我们少语，然后传承我们的文化，不要把它消失掉下来。
小校联盟开始视讯课程，开始在各个学校不同的协同课程之后，他们从这里面见识到了很多的新玩意儿，我觉得对他们来说是一个很棒的体验。视讯的教学来完成小朋友他们之间的共学，或者是相互刺激、相互观摩，对他们来说，我个人是觉得帮助非常大。
OK， 这就是我们在小校联盟4年推动以来整个的一个成果的一个展现了。那么当然我们在这里面看到了非常多感人的故事。刚刚就像蔡副所长还有吕副局长他们提到的在可能好几年前我们就已经开始运用科技的一个方式来尝试对偏乡各式各样的小学或者是不同的课程，我们进行一个创新的这种教学的一个服务。当然这个所谓的小校联盟是我们在智慧校园6个 I 里面一个比较特殊的一种应用。这个模式呢，我想在座很多位校长、主任、先进等等应该都有参与到这个计划里面。我们里面的课程当然除了一般的这个所谓国文、英文这种基本学科之外，也包含了刚刚在影片里面有提到像博物馆啦、这个海生馆啦，还有这个今年度的这个观光工厂等等。我们希望透过科技的方式让所有全台湾甚至我们连接到国外的这样一个小学或者是孩子们他们都能够享受到非常优质的一个资源。我想这也是我们在发展一个创新科技的一些初衷啊。那么的确在小校联盟我们的确做到了某些成果，也得到了部分的这个肯定。我相信我们未来还有很多的这个挑战。为什么这个 iCampus 智慧校园这么重要呢？跟各位分享一下，我们经过一些统计在台湾大概有全台湾每天大概有超过500万个师生，也就是占台湾总人口2300多万大概是23%左右大概1/5的这个人口每天有8小时左右在校园活动，也就是你人一生当中的1/3的时间，23%的人口每天都在校园活动，当然从大中小学都有。里面涵盖的这个相关的人，包含了学生、家长、老师以及教育的主管等等。所以在这么多人，影响范围这么大、覆盖范围这么大的一个情况底下，我们如何运用科技的力量，来让人类的学习或者是教室的管理、学校的这个营运，能够达到比较真正所谓智慧化的一个程度？我想这应该是我们推动智慧校园非常重要一个核心的一个理念。当然唯有 Triple I 是做不了这件事的，所以我们集结了超过100家以上的这样一个国内外吧这样的一个业者，我想共同来打造整个智慧校园的产业链，或者比较先进一点的 term 应该叫做 ecosystem。那么当然智慧校园它的整个在我们所有现在科技产业发展的这个定位里面，它介于学生一回到家里就智慧家庭，他一到社会上就是智慧城市。那智慧校园在这边呢，当然扮演一个 bridge 的一个角色。里面当然我们除了6个 I， 包含I government、I health、I management、I green、I social 等等，我们有6个 I， 还有 I learning。每一个 I 呢，我们都集结了不同大大小小的业者包含了国内的比较知名的大型的，像神通、伟创、台达电等等这样的公司，包含像昨天在开幕典礼的这个大同、精英电脑集团等等非常多，还有一些中小企业，还有新创公司，都分别在不同的这个所谓 solution 上面来讲，提供了非常好的一些解决方案跟科技。所以我们集结了这么多的一些业者，共同把台湾的这个智慧校园的一些能量，我们希望能够在台湾的很多的各个不同的县市的场域来建制我们的这个示范校。所以到去年为止是38，到目前今年我们统计出来所谓的示范校这个 pilot 大概已经有41所涵盖台湾大概9到10个县市然后呢大概有超过7000所以上的所谓smart classroom 就智慧教室，然后超过1万名以上的这个老师，还有10万名以上的学生，然后包含了这个大中小型的企业，还有这个所谓的各式各样的 application 就很多的软体解决方案在这上面共同开发。当然我们也把这样的所谓的在台湾试点的这样所谓成功或者相对比较这个觉得可以推出往国际上输出的这样一个案例，我们不管是到中国大陆、印度、印尼、约旦、马来西亚、越南、新加坡、波兰、澳门、韩国等等，我们都已经有一些具体的合作或者是案例在推动。那我想这个部分我们在国际输出上在智慧校园这个领域的确可以算是在我们近几年在科技发展的这个过程当中一个相当不错的一个主题。当然除了我们在台湾以及在很多 在座的很多先进的这个来自的国家推动之外，我们也当然参考了很多国际上的一些比较先进的国家的一些案例啊，包含欧盟的这个 Smart Campus， 那他们比较注重在打造低碳智慧校园，也就是在节能减碳方面，那包含了像是葡萄牙、芬兰、瑞典、意大利等等都有这样一个相关的计划。里面当然除了理念之外，要把所有的项目实施落地，它都必须要有完整的软体硬体的解决方案啊。所以我想这些都是让各位来参考一下。那么当然智慧校园整个在推动的这个过程当中，有很多的这个案例因为时间关系我就不耽误各位的时间。当然在像台湾包含了白云国小新雅国小南港国小等等非常多的这个中小学甚至大学都有。那当然因为我们今天开的这个大会是亚太智慧校园的这样一个会议亚太地区在智慧校园整体全球看起来它的成长年复合成长率高达 30.6%， 是整个全世界成长最快的国家。我们也希望今天的这个研讨会能够有很好的一些解决方案。这影片时间的关系因为刚刚我看到那个牌子举起来，我就不播了我很快做一个总结。整个智慧校园发展的一个过程在这3-4年的发展过程看起来，不管是在解决方案、产业链的整合，或者是所谓的这个示范校的一个推动，我想已经到达了一个阶段性的任务完成。我们也很高兴的听到这个工业局也支持下一阶段的计划。那么我们先来看看 Richard Riley 他曾经说过，2010年最热门的10项工作，事实上在2004年的时候根本就不存在。我们可能在10年前没有办法想象，在今天无人车、无人机、机器人在今天会造成这样的风潮。同样的，我们也没有办法想象10年后我们的学生、我们的孩子们，他们面对的是什么样的世界的竞争，他们面对的是什么样的科技，面对的是什么样的挑战。所以呢，科技并不是我们最重要的目的，但是人类自古以来运用科技追求学习成效提升的一种热情，跟这种所谓的想法从来就没有停止过。这是一张老照片，清朝私塾的这个照片，我们可以看到这样的氛围，在学习的过程当中，我看不到学习的希望、学习的快乐。但是呢，有社会学家曾经做过一个很有趣的社会的实验，任何一项发明只要到全球5000万用户，记好这个数字如果你今天我的演讲都忘了，就记着这个数字就好。5000万用户，这一项发明就可以产生改变人类世界的力量，包含你的学习，包含你的交友，包含你的工作 ，everything。广播到达全球5000万用户花了38年，电视花了14年的时间 ，PC 加上互联网加上 Internet 花了4年左右时间，手机加上我们的这个通讯软体大概花了1年的时间，到了微信、微博或者是 Facebook、Line， 不到6个月达成5000万的用户。所以呢，改变的速度越来越大，科技的发展的强度越来越强，影响人类的生活越来越深。我们在这样一个科技改变不断迭代的一个发展过程当中，到底怎么样自处 ？iCampus 这个 I 到底什么样的意义？我首先把它归结起来。未来科技的发展，尤其是学习科技的发展，我曾经在2010年就发表一篇 paper， 里面提到未来学习科技的发展一定会围绕在这3个维度上。第一个维度叫做从量的角度来看 ，quantity； 第二个是 quality； 第3个是互动 interaction。我们从这3个角度来看，很多的科技，待会儿如果各位有空可以到展场去看，你可以看到非常多炫目的这些科技 ，AR、VR、体感等等，都围绕在这3个维度的空间上。我们常常知道像 MOOCs、Big Data、Cloud Computing 这些我们已经非常耳熟能详，它一直在往无限海量的这个巨量的资料在成长。我们常知道 Content is king， Context 更重要Context is queen， Collaboration is key。如果用中文讲，我常常喜欢讲内容为王，情境为后，互动为要，钥匙的钥也可以，重要的要也可以。在这3个维度上，我们必须要来思考一下 iCampus。如果我们只是把学校通通装上所有的 sensor， 装上全世界最厉害的科技，这所学校对人的价值、对人的贡献到底在哪里？我们还是必须要深刻去思考。但是呢，这个 iCampus 的 I， 我认为未来真的要达到所谓 intelligence 智慧的境界，并不是装上这些科技的玩意儿而已，它必须要在这几个科技发展的过程当中非常重要的一些趋势吧，一定是个人化、智能化、自动化、即时化、虚拟化、碎片化，不管是学习，不管是他的工作，不管是他的一个生活，未来的所谓的 iCampus 不只是 campus， 未来的 campus 的定义也不只是在学校，任何学习的场域都是它的 learning environment， 所以 intelligent learning environment 是一个 campus 未来的一个虚拟世界的一个概念。这个 I 呢，我认为有几个层次的意义，包含 innovation、instruction、immersion、information、integration、interaction、inspiration、insight， 最后才会到 intelligence 的境界啊。所谓的智慧必须协助科技的力量，必须协助人类在所谓的除了收集资料之外，我们必须要分析，我们必须要能够预测，我们需要能够掌握未来发展趋势的一种力量，这才是所谓智慧校园最大的一个意义，并不是在这些科技本身而已。那么当然我想今年是第4年，我们今年在11月即将计划一阶段任务结束，不过我认为计划的结束绝对不是终点，在创新的道路上永远都只有起点。我们希望在这4年的这个发展过程当中，集结大家的力量能够让台湾在智慧校园的成果让全世界看见。我是廖兆宏，感谢各位今天的聆听，谢谢各位，谢谢。
谢谢廖主任为我们带来精彩的演讲。智慧校园除了刚刚提到的包含软体、硬体以及服务的整合，还有什么？思维。那该如何让教育工作者以及学校的管理机关导入整体教育科技学习的一个新思维？我们邀请到香港天虹小学浸信会天虹小学的朱子颖校长，他引领了教育科技风潮，在香港造成了无人不知、无人不晓这样一个年轻的校长，他做了什么？今天为我们带来的是教育再造的专题演讲，我们用热烈的掌声欢迎他，朱子颖校长。
Good morning, everyone. When I was young, my parents always told me that education is very important. They told me that education can change their faith, change their life, because my parents, actually, they're quite poor when they were young. Through education, through schools, they can find a good jobs. So that's why I can have a better life in my childhood. We share the common ideas with Mr. Liu just show us. But the point is, I'm a teacher. When I become a teacher, I found that I can't see education change anything. I mean, in my career, I can see students come to my school, and then after 6 years, they graduate. And did it change anything? I can't see it. So it's a bit sad, right? So first of all, I would like to introduce myself once again. I'm a principal. My name is Chu. Because a lot of people think that you look like a salesperson or a technical person, but actually I'm a principal. This is my Facebook. You can we can communicate more if you like. Yeah. Today I want to share more about the situation in Hong Kong to you. First of all, show you this status. This is a global ranking. It's based on the PISA result. PISA is the global standard of students. In the past 10 years, Hong Kong, we always in top 3 of the ranking all over the world. I mean, in mathematics, reading, science, all our students, they're very good. They have very good results for the past 10 years, right? We're quite proud of another result. This is Timothy Pearls, which is more focused on reading and writing skills. In Hong Kong, for the past 10 years, we always are the first ranking. Our students are the best to have exam, to pass the exam in mathematics, reading, and everything. So I can tell you that Hong Kong education is very good, right? We train good students, right? But I want to share another report to you. This is from the World Economic Forum. This report is sharing the competitive between the countries. I mean, we have the best students in Hong Kong, right? we suppose when they graduate from schools, they come to work, they should be the best, right? But I can tell you for the past 10 years, we are in the top 10, right? But we are not that high. I mean, there's a gap. We train students, which is very good in exam, but when they come to work, what happened? We are not that good. When you look down for the details, the reason why we can't win the other country is innovation. I mean, this tells us that, yes, Hong Kong built very good students in exam or for exam. But when it comes to work, our innovation, our creativity is not as good as the other countries. But this is not the point I want to share with you. Another report is the World Happiness Report. So let's compare the whole world. What do you think about Taiwan? Are you happy? Okay. In Taiwan, you are in the top 40s. You are 30 something, I can't remember. But in Hong Kong, we are in 80 something. I mean, people in Hong Kong is, not happy, I can tell. But Taiwan is here. Taiwan is here. Oh, yeah. But we are educated, right? Here's another data from Hong Kong. In the past half year, we're talking about we are a very small country. We have 19 students, they commit suicide. They kill themselves. And this report is about why they are not happy. And then when they rank it in the top 10, all the things make the kids not happy is because of the school. In the past 4 years, in Hong Kong, let's take 11 years old. So they used to be 7.3 happiness, okay, the index. But right now, they dropped in all age. I mean, we have good education, we have good results, but our kids, they will not enjoy it. And even they try to kill themselves. There are lots of reasons, but for me, I was born and raised up in Hong Kong, right? When I was young, the whole society, my parents, everyone told me that you should not be the pink one. You should be the yellow one. The reason why you have to learn play piano is not because you like it. It's because the others are learning. So you have to learn it. Do you know this map? This is a 1904 world map. And the red area is the British colony. You know, British colony, in the past 100 years, they have a lot of countries and colonies. Hong Kong is one of the British colonies for the past 100 years, right? We have a question. 10 years ago, we don't have telephone, we don't have internet, we don't have email. Try to think about it. How can the British people control so many places around the world? Do you understand me? What they can only do is to send letters, write letters and send them out. But they can control such a big area in the world. How can they do that? Have you ever think about that? They don't have any new technology. What they have, they are building schools in all their colonies. 100 years ago, when they have Hong Kong, the first thing they do are they build schools in Hong Kong. What we focus on reading and writing. We have to learn good English. Do you know why? Because if everyone in Hong Kong know how to speak in English, so they can send us a letter, they can do all the administrative in English, right? And also they will not, for the colony education system, they will not focus on philosophy. They will not focus on art. They will not focus on creativity. You know why? Because when the people there think out of the box, what will they do? They will fight back, right? So this is our education system will not do in the past. More important, we will more focus on identical. I mean, the training in Hong Kong have to be same of the training in for example, New Zealand. The training, if a good student in Hong Kong, they train very good in English, they are very good. the British government can take the good person to the intelligent people to another colonies to work as same as they do because the training and the schooling is the same. They can build office everywhere in the world because we share the same language, we do this things in the same way. Also, we can build factories everywhere around the world. We can build armies, then they can extend their colonies. But this is the story 100 years ago, right? In Hong Kong, we returned to China, a few years ago. And when we look at our kids, we would say, well, this is what I grew up, but this is not my country's future. So the problem is, the future is what we are going to see, just we don't know the job in the future. And we face a lot of problems today we can't fix. In Hong Kong, we have another huge problem is the gap between rich and poor. We are number 3 in the world today. This is another figure that about home prices. When I come to Taipei, a lot of people talk to me that the home prices in Taipei is very high right now. But you are not in the top 10. I can't see your name. Look at Hong Kong. Now, the orange one is the resort. This is not the house we live, right? Primary one is the house we live. Look at Hong Kong. We are higher than London, New York, and Los Angeles and Singapore. So don't tell me your flat is very expensive. We are facing that in Hong Kong, seriously. Our generation, I mean me and my government, I can tell we can't fix this problem. What can we do? So for me, I think we teach and educate today's kids and help us to fix our problem in the tomorrow. So this is my job. And yeah, this is a photo from Hong Kong. The reason why our home price is so high. So the people without any resources will live like that. At the same time, maybe his classmate, maybe they go to the same school, but if they are rich person, the parents will not, can give them a lot of support to help them to learn. In Hong Kong, the red area is a very poor area, and the blue area is very rich area. And for example here, from here, this is Kowloon, very rich area, to very poor area, you can walk about 5 minutes. You can go there. For the schooling, it's interesting. Maybe if you are a principal, if you are teachers, if you have your school in the blue area, what does it mean? It means you have good parents, good students, so you have good results, right? What happens if you just 5 minutes walk to a poor area? So you have bad student, you seem to do nothing. And also, Apple Daily, they show us their relationship between famous school and also the home's prices. The home price is higher, the schools have better results. They share the same research in US. In US, they have there's talking about the people's income and the SAT scores. SAT is their exam. They found that the family with more income, their results will be better. So everyone, so today, as a principal or a teacher, what you need to do is to open a school in a rich area, then you succeed. I don't share with this idea. I mean, this is an IQ paradox, very interesting research. It finds out that the world is so fair. I mean, the kids with high IQ may born in every family. I mean, no matter you're rich or poor, your kids can be very intelligent. This is very fair. So why are kids maybe good, maybe not, but after the schooling, there are differences. We found the problem is school, teachers. It's what you believe. This is our problem. We have to fix it, right? So here I want to share my story of our school. Well, actually, Baptist Rainbow Primary School, 3 years ago, I became a principal of that school in 2013. On that year, I give up everything. I mean, I was vice principal in other primary school, which is very good family support. They are middle class. Some of them are very rich as well. So I can enjoy my teaching there very well. But in 2013, I choose to give up everything. I go to a poor school. I went to a poor school to be a principal because I believe that education can change something, right? On the first day, I went to the Baptist Rainbow Primary School. We only have 14 teachers. We have only 6 classes, and most of them are from underprivileged families. And I'll jump a bit. Today, I'm happy to share with you, we have 16 classes. We have more than 400 students. We have 40 teachers in this moment. So today, I'm here to share some of my two of my main points, how we can do that. The first thing I want to share with you is that I believe give the latest technology to students can change their life. Okay, this is the first thing I do. So we should not give them Windows XP. You know, do you use Windows XP? No, we use Windows 10. We should give the latest technology to our kids. The second thing we do, we have to change our own mindset. We're not going to change the kids' mindset. The first thing we do is change our own mindset. Okay? So I'm going to justify my point. 2 things, right? First thing, give them technology. Second thing, change our own mindset. I'm going to justify how we can do that. The first thing I want to share with you that we built the first 3D printing room in Hong Kong in 2013. We let our kids, we give the latest technology, 3D printing, to our kids since they're 6 years old. They need to learn how to make 3D printing. You say, it's impossible for 6 years old kids, right? I spend 20 minutes, I can teach the kids how to make 3D printing, but I spend 2 hours, I can't teach a teacher to do 3D printing, right? Give them the latest technology. It's not that important. It's important. How I can change the mindset of our teachers? Okay, people in this world, we only have 1% of our population. They are designer. Okay, the reason why they are designer is not because they are smarter than us. They may. The reason why they are designer because they have the technology to build the things they want, right? For the rest of 99%, like you and me, we use water bottle, toilet paper roll to build things. But through education, through schools, we can teach 99% of people to know how to do 3D printing, to design their own products. What happened next? I mean, if 99% people come out and use their creativity to design solution products to solve the problems of this world will change. So this is what we are going to do. So we teach our kids to do that. And we are schools, right? But we always believe that we have to change the society. So we start an inculcation program. We let all the teachers and students from Hong Kong, they go to our school to learn how to build 3D models. We train more than 2,000 students a year to do 3D printing. And we broke a world record. You know what world record is? In 2015, we asked 1,000 students come to my school to do 3D printing together, and we broke a world record. But you will say, hey, this is marketing. This is a gimmick, right? But we are changing people's mindset. So on that day, actually, we asked some volunteer from Cambodia. They come to our student and share. In the Cambodia, there are lots of problems. And the kids there, they don't have clean water, something like that. So the 1,000 students there, they are designing products to help Cambodia kids. So what we want to break through our mindset is 3D printing is important, but not that part. We want our kids to learn if you use your own creativity, you can solve the problem around the world. And this is more important. Okay? So this is the first story I want to share with you. Second thing, we talk about STEM. We talk about makers, right? Those are technology part. I skip that because Taiwan a lot of books they're showing that. But the mindset I want to break through is that our schools, especially in Hong Kong, we are very good at training students to be a worker, to work for you. Sit down and listen to me, and sit down and don't ask. This is a good workers, right? But can we change that mindset? Can we change our kids to be an entrepreneur? Can we teach our kids to be a boss? Because this can change the world, right? So we start to have a startup lab. We don't call it STEM lab or Fab lab. We call it startup lab. It means we provide technology like building, blah blah blah. This is what I want to focus. So they are not just sitting there and say, I want to invent something, but they just draw the pictures. But they can build it by their hands. We empower their coding skills and also of that. The reason why we do that, again, to break through the mindset, because we are a primary school, we don't want our kids to grow up to be a programmer or engineer. This is not what we want to do. We want our kids to come on the stage and share with the others why you build these things. Okay, so this is more important to let them to use problem solving to solve the others' problem more than writing codes and building things. So we give them technology of coding, STEM, but the mindset we want to break through is we want our student to become a boss. The third thing I want to share with you, maybe this is more related to Hong Kong. Schools is not something bad to the student. What is your most happy things in your life? The student will tell you, I have a holiday, I need not to go to school, I'm happy. So can we change that? I mean, can the kids tell us that I don't want to have holiday, I want to come to school every day? So I'm happy to tell you that we can do that. So it's easy. We just give the students rights to play, because student play is their human right, right? What did we do? We write our own apps. This is called Rainbow Rangers. So the teachers have this app. When a student do something really good, we call it offline to online to offline, O to O to O. Okay, they did something really good. It is offline, right? So you come here, and then our teachers will take out our app, and then we scan their card, then we reward them. Okay, so they will reward different, gems. Okay, so why they need to connect them? Because they can mix different items for their game, and also for some real prizes like toys or something like that. So they enjoy being good. And also we design our own characters, and those characters are implemented into our daily life activity like sports day. We take out those characters and everything out, and they're just like playing games, but in school. In this game, we designed there's a base that the characters will sit here, and then they can transform to different characters, something like that. This is the base, the characters offers, but we build them out. I mean, we just like a theme park. We build a theme park in our school. In this theme park, they can play games like Kinect. They can move in their bodies to control, to play some games to learn. A lot of Kinect games. We built our own Kinect games to let the kids to learn. Our furniture in Hong Kong, slides. It's not easy to find, but in Taiwan, many schools have that. But for us, it's special. So they play slides in the recess time. Now this is interesting. We have PS4 in our school. And this is me, right? This guy, this boy, he's 11 years old. His family, he don't have parents, right? I don't want to share his information more. For the past 5 years, he studied in my school. My teachers tried to help him to learn, like copy 10 times, and then he don't want to learn. Like punish him. If you don't study that, you stay after school. He don't want to learn. And then one day we tell him, okay, study for 10 minutes. So I will play with you, play TV games with you for 5 more minutes. And then he start to, study. And I'm happy to tell you last year he got 85 marks in his English, which is in the past 5 years he got 0 marks. We're happy to see that. And we have VR, and yeah, we have mind control. We have, again, this is the latest technology we should give our kids. What we are going to do is try to justify this statement. Can we teach today's student as we taught yesterday? So back to the teaching and learning, I-learning is very important, right? We do flipped classroom in Hong Kong as well. So I know that Taiwan will do that, but in short, so flipped classroom is we are not going to teach in the classroom, but we teach at home and we do homework together when they come back to school. This is this picture we want to share with you to justify technology and mindset issue. If we promote flipped classroom 40 years ago, 50 years ago, the picture should like that, right? The teachers put the latest technology on the student table. They're typer, right? If the teachers stop like that and teach as normal, just teach it and you type it, there's nothing changed, right? The basic concept is, I heard a lot of story from you because many schools, you have computers, you have tablet, but you just put there. And the teachers, they don't change their mindset, right? The most important thing is we have to change the teacher's mindset. I want to share with you, ebooks, and this is not my main point. The main point is all my students, since primary 4 to primary 6, we use tablets. We don't have textbook anymore. This is the technology, right? The mindset we want to change is big data, how the teachers use big data. In Hong Kong, all students need to do homework every day. Let's say you learn mathematics, you got 20 exercises about mathematics you have to do. And we suppose you get all correct, then you're a good student, right? What if you got all wrong? The teachers will say, you're a bad guy. You're a bad student. I don't want you. Something like that, to discourage the student. Do you do the same thing? I'm not sure. Okay, but I want to change that mindset. Try to think about it. You spend 35 minutes to teach your student mathematics, right? They do homework. If they all get wrong for the exercise, whose problem is it? It's the teachers. Because your 35 minutes is not that good. I mean, maybe not good. Maybe the way you teach is not the way they want to learn, right? So this is big data. So what we do is, the reason why we give them tablets for all the students, because every day after a lesson, they will do some online tests about what the teacher teach. If the teacher can see, oh, today, my class, they have 90% correct. What does it mean? The data tells us that, oh, you can move on, right? For the flipped classroom, if the student go home, watch a video, and then they come back 90% correct, what does this data tell you? It tells you that actually you need not to teach this topic because they already know. Move on, right? The most important thing, what if you teach 35 minutes? You think you're good, but actually only 20% student can get the correct answers. So teachers, please teach it again tomorrow in another way. So we do it every day, every lesson, and all the teachers. So after 3 years, you know what happened? Actually, the student doesn't change much, but our teachers, they changed a lot. I mean, their way for teaching become very charming. I mean, why they charm? Because they are teaching what the kids want and how the kids needs. So we change the teachers' pedagogies by this way. So this is back to 3 years ago, the first day the kids get the tablet and start their journey. Last but not least, I want to share with you, there's a very important teacher. We call it the third teacher. The third teacher is the environment. I mean, when you go to the classroom, the seats is like that, and you tell them, hey, be creative. Come on. It's a classroom, it's a creative setup. So we change our classroom to a classroom like this. We can draw on our wall. We have apps, we have everything. And then more importantly, we can change a setting in a few seconds. Let's say if we want to do the lecturing, we can move the chairs like that. We can move like that. Or this is my favorite. I mean, all the kids, they're working by their own. Actually, there's no place and no role for the teachers. When all the kids, they're working, what is your role, teachers? You just go to different groups and ask them, do you need any help? One day, if all the kids, they're working on the right track without your help, you are the most successful teachers in this world. Last but not the least, I want to share our curriculum to you. Baptist Rainbow Primary School start a brand new curriculum in this year. And actually, we registered Dream Starter. This is our trademark. This program, we call it, 不知道怎么说, Dream Starter. I mean, we want, actually, I believe that we always say, ask the kids, find your dream. Did you say anything like that? But I can tell you it will fail because, you know, kids come to school every day and go home every day. How can they find their dreams? But I always say that let the dreams find you. I mean, as an adult, as a teacher, as a parent, we should give more opportunities to kids to see this world, to see and found, and let the dreams find them. So this is our new curriculum. What did we do? Actually, we are a whole day school in Hong Kong. We use half of the day before lunch. This is our lunch. Before lunch, we do the normal curriculum, Chinese, English, mathematics, you know, the normal education curriculum. But after lunch, we do Dream Starter for the whole year. And we aim at asking the kids, you should brave enough to try. And when I was young, I always tell something crazy. Let's say I want to have a rocket. 5月天的新的 new song, right? It's talking about having a rocket shooting to the sky. I think many boys or many people, you talk something like that when you were young, right? I did the same thing, but my parents, my teachers, everyone tell me, no, you can't do it. Why not? No one tried it. As an adult teachers, why not to help them to try? I'm not make sure them they succeed, but at least you try. And we want our kids to be innovative. We have two interesting elements we put in our curriculum. But first thing, we talk about shared economy to our 6-year-old kids. And also, we talk about entrepreneurship, start from 6 years old. And in the underprivileged families, because we believe that this is the best way to change their home family's faith, to get out from their situation in this moment. So what actually we do is very simple. Have you ever heard about a platform called Kickstarter, a crowdfunding platform, right? So you have an idea, you put it on the website, you ask for help for money, and people from the world help you. This is Kickstarter, right? Dream Starter do the same thing. We let our kids, this is our, we will launch our Dream Starter website in October. This is the mock-up only, but you can see this is when the kids have their own dream. Let's say this is an example. We did it last year. 2 of our kids, they really want to go to US to join a competition of their drawings. But we need to pay for the ticket, we need to pay for the hotel, everything, a lot of money we have to pay. So what did we do? We asked the kids to put their dreams online, and we asked for people around the world to support us. So we will build that, you know, they won't have some tools, we want some money, so we just put it on, and a lot of people around the world, they sponsor our kids to do that. So last year, they did it. So Baptist Rainbow School, start from this year, we are going to have 30 projects for all students in our school to share their dream and ask this world to help them to complete it. So we think that this is more important to, you know, just sit in a classroom to learn like that. So this is my story. And I want to say it again, technology is very important. But behind that, we have to change our own mindset. And start from why. If you start from why, all the problem is how to do it, and it is. We always say there is more answers than question. Okay, thank you very much.
谢谢朱子颖校长为我们带来相当精彩的演说。接下来，请大家稍作休息10分钟，在我们会议室外备有茶点，欢迎大家尽情享用。谢谢。对，好。好，没关系，我看一下。这个怎么念呢 ？Mr. 郑传安，好。这确定念福萨的？
我早上问他的。
哦，福萨的，他的Kongkiti Phusavat。好 ，OK。我把这些看熟。好，福萨的，好。我可以去拿一罐水吗？福萨的。我觉得没关系，没关系吗？重音重在前面就是直接福萨法就好。好。
没换你的。
欢迎回到亚太智慧校园研讨会。学习中我的学习环境将在时代校园带来不幸的学习也是沉浸体验。学习中我的学习环境。新加坡工艺局科技发展中心郑传安经理为我们演讲，为我们带来。没有直接进入这个为我们带来虚拟实境的创新发展，分享它应用职业技能训练和航空空间能力的发展，让我们掌声欢迎郑管理。Let's welcome Mr. Manager of Technology Development Center in Institute of Technical Education in Singapore. Manager of Technical Development Center in Institute of Technical Education in Singapore. Manager of Technology Development Center in Institute of Technical Education in Singapore. Manager of Technology Development Center in Institute of Technical Education in Singapore. Let's welcome Mr. Zhen Chuan, Manager of Technology Development Center in Institute of Technical Education in Singapore. 我们的学习环境将在新时代校园，这样的学习环境将为新时代的校园带来不尽眼神的沉浸体验。我们邀请到新加坡工艺局科技发展中心郑传安经理为我们带来虚拟实境的创新发展，分享其运用智能教育、职业技能教育与航空空间能力的发展，让我们以热烈的掌声欢迎郑传安。Let's welcome Mr. Zhen Chuan, Manager of Technology Development Center in Institute of Technical Education in Singapore. 谢谢你的演说。面对光电电子时代，下时代工作人力应该做好什么准备？下时代工作人力又应该做好什么准备？下时代工作人力。当然也不会说这个标准做好什么准备。我们邀请泰国、芬兰等地致力推动科技教育的
你说你现在用直播的系统是用公司的，还是你改天再跟我讲？
advisor for the Vancouver metropolitan situation. And administration,提醒一下，提醒就是1分钟了，1分钟。
好。
各位来宾，接下来的活动即将在1分钟后开始，请各位陆续就座，谢谢。分享其运用职业技能训练，推荐面对学科发展，让我们掌声欢迎郑传安经理。Let's welcome Mr. Manager of Technology Development Center, Institute of Technical Education, Manager of Technology Development Center, Institute of Technical Manager of Technology Development Center in Institute of Technical Education. 智慧校园研讨会，在这虚实整合的环境，新时代的校园将带来，在这虚实整合的学习环境，在新时代的校园将带来无限延伸的职技体验。我们邀请到新加坡工艺局科技发展中心郑传安经理，为我们带来虚拟实境的创新发展，分享其运用于职业技能训练、航空、附件等领域的发展。让我们掌声欢迎郑传安经理。Let's welcome Mr. 郑传安， Manager of Technology Development Center in Institute of Technical Education in Singapore.
各
各位来宾，我们的活动即将开始，请各位尽速就座，谢谢。好，我们活动即将开始。各位来宾，欢迎回到亚太智慧校园研讨会。在这虚实整合的学习环境，新时代的校园将带来无限延伸的沉浸体验。接下来，我们邀请到新加坡工艺局教育科技发展中心郑传安经理，为我们带来虚实实境的创新发展，分享其运用于职业技能如航空和复健等领域的发展。让我们掌声欢迎郑传安经理。Let's welcome Mr. Zheng Chuan-an, Manager of Technology Development Center in Institute of Technical Education in Singapore.
To the organizers of this conference, Triple I, Institute for Information Industry, special guests, participants of this conference, a very good morning to all of you. And yesterday, there's this, we have a session yesterday, and this person from Google's, anyone know his name? Swan Yo. Yeah, he invited us to go to the exhibition to look at the VR there, right? Because VR can be another form of learning. So I went there, and this is what I found here. It's very dark. Sorry, some technical issue.
各位来宾，请大家稍后一下，我们协助处理一下我们的设备问题，请大家稍后。
Okay, I'm back to the presentation slide, yeah. Okay, so yesterday I went down and to the exhibition, I see all these exhibits, very wonderful, and there's so many of these VR exhibits. And some of these are quite interesting. The one that is over here is like a ride, simulator ride. And I can really feel the punch, They say, you want which one? You want the most scary one or the not so scary? I take the scary one and really feel like vomiting after that. Yeah, but it's really real. Yeah? And also feel that, the escape room, now they actually convert into a VR as well. And some of these simulators that are very interesting, even with this simulator, they actually have a stand, that make it very convenient for you to wear it on. You don't have to put any strap. Yeah, something very interesting. Please go and take a look. But one of the things I realized is also this, that in this exhibition, I see a lot of young people around. And I can understand why they are going to game, because game is a big industry, right? And look at Pokemon Go, for example, And, Pokemon Go today, they are looking at 100 million downloads up to today. And they are earning something like 10 million a day, every day, Through the games, how they earn the money, they actually give you free, right? But when you purchase the items, all the balls, whatever, and you have to pay for it. So they're earning a lot of money. So, all these people there, I can understand that they want to be rich, hopefully to be rich. Yeah. And actually to convert the game into a VR, you actually need 20% of the effort. Today, a lot of platform, you can actually convert into a game very easily. With the new 3D software, you can actually convert into a VR very easily, which I'll show you later on. Yeah, so I really hope that you can take a look. The other thing I observed is that all of these booths that I see, all of them are basically entertainment. VR for entertainment. And could not find anything more like a serious game kind of thing. And this is the reason why I'm here to present to you my topics on innovation in VR for education. Can we use VR today for education? And also do it for the healthcare, So I'll call it a serious game kind of thing. And we use the serious game, convert it to a VR. And I'm very humbled here. In Singapore, we are just a small little island, right below Malaysia. And, Taiwan is like 4.5 times our size, So there's really a big market in the game industry as well as VR. And I know that every year they have this annual game event. I think next year was going to be something like 16 to 17 of January. Yeah, very big one. Yeah. And I remember when I first come to Taiwan, it was something like 30 years ago, As an army boy, in Singapore we have to serve national service. And we actually come here to do live firing. I was in the artillery gun units and we actually do live firing there. So that was 30 years ago. And today, Singapore is very close with, our government is still very close with Taiwan. And we still have our military base here to do our live firing. So a little background myself, I'm involved in 18 years in the education. I was a lecturer in the polytechnics. And something like the year 1999, and 2000, I actually introduced virtual reality as an elective, as a module itself to teach my students. I presented in various conferences in Japan, Hong Kong, Germany. And also, I'll be sharing with you some of my works that I'm going to do later on. But today, I want to do a definition of what is VR. Very important, you must know the difference between VR and 3D stereoscopic. What VR is actually, it immerses the user entirely in a digital make-believe setting, often by using goggles that cover a user's entire field of vision. Goggle, swimming goggle with two little monitor there. And over here, this morning, I want to introduce the two types of immersion that we apply on my campus. The first one is called a cave. A cave can be a 3 to 6-sided immersion. And the second one is the head-mounted device, 6-sided one. Fully immersed. And you can see the exhibition, what you have here is a fully immersed head-mounted device. And today you go there are actually two gadgets that you can see. One is the Oculus Rift, and the other one is your Taiwan brand HTC Vive, right? And the price difference is about $200 difference. But basically, if you go into these devices, you'll feel yourself totally immersed with 6-sided, means you can see the four wall, the roof and the floor, fully immersed into this area. And today my topics, innovation in VR for education and healthcare. I'm going to break into 3 parts. So there are only 3 parts here. Hope you can remember them. The first one is innovation in virtual reality. What are the innovations that I can find in virtual reality? And later I'll move on to how this is applied in education and how this is applied in healthcare. So I just want to go back into my early days of VR. Somewhere in 19th of June 1997, I was at the University of Illinois, Chicago, doing a presentation on VR. I was invited to this huge cave, a simulated environment. They showed me the future of the factory over there. And I was so amazed that, wow, I said, it's such a beautiful thing. But that was only at the research level. It has not been into the classroom yet. That was 1997. And later on, down the year, 1997, 8 years down, very interesting, I saw this same thing, a cave system, okay, in our science center. And they were actually learning science in the science center. And they learned the engine of the aircraft, okay. That was in 2005. And actually, a cave, what is a cave? A cave is actually cave automated virtual environment. And you can see that over here, you can see that there are actually 4 walls, and of course there's a floor. So there's actually 3 walls with a floor, so it's 4-sided. And usually they require a huge space because they have to use a real projection. Because if you use front projection, you'll get the shadow, right? So when you use a real projection, to cover the big space, you actually need to be using a mirror that is projector reflected through a mirror and cast it down to the wall, to a projection wall. And you get the effect of a totally immersive system. So what I'm telling you is that for this such a system, it actually uses 3 computers with a main computer, okay, because there are 3 walls, and 1 main computer controls the three computers. And that time they're actually using the Onyx engine, which is very costly, something like few $1 million. And you also require a huge space to set up such a system. And after that, down the road, I see many, many developments in the head-mounted device. And these are some of the devices. But what really happening in the world was happening in 2005. What happened? When we have the Google's cardboard. Actually, I have a sample of this Google cardboard. Can someone see here? It's a Google cardboard. And all you have to do is to put your smartphone. Today, everyone carries a smartphone. And you can download the content, and you can just put it on, and you can see the 3D effect, because there are 2 glasses here. So you can actually see the immersion of the 3D effect. But there's no tracking for Google Glass. And I was told, went to the exhibition, you can actually get this Google cardboard, right? You can buy from US for $9.90. And you can actually do it yourself also. They actually teach you how to do it. If you go to the Google's website, they actually teach you how to do this by yourself. Okay? But if you want to buy a better quality, you can buy it here also at the exhibition hall. And they are selling at something like 350 Thai money. Thai币. Okay? 350. 350. Okay? Very cheap, right? Singapore is about $14, I calculated. And it's foldable, means they can fold it, So you can go to the aeroplane, take a flight, you can actually see VR in your aeroplane when you are taking your journey, right? So it actually created a very effect. It really stormed the world of VR in a very cheap way. Using your smartphone, you can actually see VR straight away. So that was actually amazing. And in 2006 or 2005, Facebook actually bought over this Oculus Rift. Okay, Oculus Rift. They actually it's a starter kit, a starter kit kind of campaign, and they actually have this DK1. I think anyone who play with Oculus Rift will know. They started with DK1, and they moved on to DK2, and today they actually have the commercial version, and it's called CV1. CV1 stands for Commercial Version 1. Okay, and actually it's retailing at 599. For I think the commercial version for Vive is also about $799 US, about $200 difference. But what you can see is the amazing part about this Oculus Rift. It actually comes down to the consumer level, and in other words, each of you can buy it, but not now, you know. And I'm very fortunate that for this conference, when I was preparing my topic, I was able to get one of these sets, the CV1. Yeah. So 1 week ago, my friend shipped me from US to this to ITE, and actually I got this and tried to play with it. So still some adjustment here and there, but actually I got the CV1, and you can see that the CV1 is so much better. Okay, and this is what you have in the package for CV1. You actually have a very high resolution of 2160 multiplied by 120. It's a lot of pixels. It's something like 233 million pixels. So you can see a very rich color compared to the earlier version. And you also have a bigger field of view and an integrated headphone. Previously, you have to use your own headset to put it, separately. Now they integrate it inside, so it comes with a headphone as well. And they work very closely with Xbox, and they have this controller. And also they have this Constellar. Constellar is the tracking device where they can sense your depth, as you move in and move left and right. And this is the remote control to do your selection. So when you wear it, right, you're as if you're inside the computer, and you can use it's something like a mouse for you to do your selection using this. And as I share with you that this is really good. Why I say that? The Oculus Rift, if compared with Vive, there's a lot of debate on it. Somebody said Vive is very futuristic. But in terms of Oculus Rift, they mentioned that today they actually have 30 titles. Okay? But by the end of the year, they're going to have something like 100 titles for this Oculus Rift. And you can see that when you play, right? Anyone play Xbox here? Yeah, so those who play Xbox, right, you can appreciate that it's so fun, right? But Xbox, you don't feel the immersion. It's a flat screen, but you enjoy the game because it's so rich. But now, if I ask you, you play Xbox, but you put a Oculus Rift, and you try again, you see a totally different. You're totally immersed, and you enjoy the game so much better. So I also like to share about the other application of VR besides entertainment. You can see that today, right, the sports, what we have is sports have gone into another dimension. People want to see the immersion of sports, not in front of TV, but in front of a immersion system like a head-mount device. So sport is coming up in terms of VR. And the other area of VR is medical. If you go to dental, right, there's a fear of treatment for the dental, your teeth, you hear the drilling sound, you get very frightened and very painful. So to ease the pain, now they wear the goggle over it. There's such an application. So when you see the goggle, you enjoy the movie inside, you sort of ease your pain, you not feel it psychologically. And they actually use VR for manufacturing as well. And why I say that? Because if you use VR and manufacture, do some training before you do the actual piece, it's part of the training to assemble some kind of equipment for the manufacturing. And anyone see this movie called Martian? The Martian. Martian is a movie that actually takes you to Mars, and there's an accident, and that person was actually left in the Mars, and you have to survive in the Mars for many days, before he was brought back to Earth. So that was a experience of Mars using the VR, and that was actually shown in CES 2015, and they actually show you can actually feel Mars in VR today. But what I want to share with you is something of VR that you may feel even more real. There's this movie, not sure anyone see this movie. It's called Inner Space. This was a movie that was shown in 1997. It's talking about a person, he went to this experiment to get himself miniaturized, okay, and put in the syringe to inject into a human body, into an animal, but accidentally it was injected into a human body. And he actually went through the human body, and then he maneuver, inside the body. And actually, later, eventually came out from his ear. Anyone have saw this movie? Yeah, that's good. So it's a very interesting movie. It's telling you about the anatomy of the body, what is inside the body. And actually in VR, right, in this, one of the title of the VR is called the Body VR. And you can see that in Body VR, you can experience the same thing as if you are inside the body. And really, if you are free, I'm going to set up the demo later on, you can experience yourself this Body VR. So you can see this VR. If you wear the goggle, you'll see this exactly. So it shows the different blood cell, and you go into the body and experience it, the anatomy.
Strand in a network of blood vessels that spread. Let's take a look at the blood's most prominent cell, the red blood cell. Red blood cells, or erythrocytes, take up almost half of the blood's total volume, giving a red colour to our blood. Their main function is to transfer oxygen from our lungs to vital parts of our body. Next up are white blood cells, or leukocytes, which take up less than 1% of the blood's total volume. Their main function is to protect our body from infection. Lastly, let's examine platelets, or thrombocytes, whose main function is to stop bleeding at the site of a damaged blood vessel.
Okay, so I think you have an idea what is it about, so you can experience it for yourself. So I'm going to move on to my next part, the next point. I'm going to share about the virtual reality for education. But before that, let me share about what my campus do. We are called the Institute of Technical Education. It's basically a vocation training, preparing our students, for a career, a skill, by giving them a skill for a career. And these students are actually at the lower level of the cohort. The better students went to the polytechnics or even the junior college. So over here, the students, they need a lot of guidance, and also they need a lot of visual. They need to see things, picture, not text. And they need to do things. They need to do with their hands so that they can learn, So that's the type of student that we have. So when we have this kind of student, and that's how we also changes our curriculum. If any concept that has difficult to grasp, we like to use a different way of teaching. So in this case, some of the technology that we bring in is to cater for this group of students, to cater also for the different type of curriculum. Okay, later I'll share with you more. And you can see that over here, we actually have 3 colleges in IT College East, West, and Central. And we have here have a HQ. We have a total staff strength of 2,700 staff, 28,000 students, and about 19,000 part-time students. So for me, where am I in which college? I'm at the College West, okay, at the west side of Singapore. And in my department, we focus a lot on this industry engagement. Means over here, our HQ, we have a HQ here, and we link up with the companies in the industry. And together, this is where I am. And in my department, we actually have about 6 to 8 staff of full-time, and we focus on projects. from the industry, and even from innovation-funded projects from the government as well. And some of the things that we do includes the proof of concept, product and system design, consultancy services. And when we do the projects, right, what we do is we actually involve the schools, the teachers in the campus, So in the campus, there are different types of teachers. 4 schools we have: School of Business, School of Engineering, School of Electronics and Infocom, and also specialty school like Hospitality, Design School, Applied Science as well. And over there, we actually involve them, the student and the staff in the project, so that in this case, they will learn something of relevant to the industry. So in 2013, this is what happened. Remember I tell you 1977, right? It was just at the research level at the University of Chicago, Illinois. And 2013, this system was actually bring over to a cave system, I call it, to ITE. By this company called Eon, which we work with. And in these facilities, we actually deal with marine and offshore technology courses, because these are the courses that we cannot bring our students there. So what we do is we bring the marine and offshore facility over to the classroom instead. And the other one is aerospace, facility management, and we also teach our students on space design. Later I'll share with you more about that. So I have this opportunity to visit this center to take a look. It's at College Central, not at College West. And they call it the Center of Technology in 3D Applied Technologies. And you can see that the collaborator we have is our Eon Reality. And I thought I want to show you a video of what this system can do. This is from Eon Reality. So over here, you can see that basically, in each of the setting, the students will have to do the 3D glass. They don't wear goggles, they wear a 3D glass. And actually, there will be a navigator, okay, to guide the student, you know. So in the group, right, usually there will be eight students in a group. And in the group, you have to select a student leader. So that student leader will actually guide and also to answer those questions. And you can see that in this case, this is a navigator here. And usually they will do a lot of things because we are training students as a technician. So, you know, in the aircraft, they will do a lot of inspection. Okay, so you can see over here the different inspection. Over here, they're supposed to place a choke on the wheel of the aeroplane here. Yeah, there are more of this photo here. And over here, you can see the setting is very different. So you see, you actually have classroom setting, and behind you can see this cave there. Okay, so before the lesson, and while because they go in group, right, the student will have to go through the questions, and after the lesson, right, then they will have to answer the question and do a debrief. The lecturer will do a debrief at the end. And what we do next is that we also put in their experience inside. We call this the iDelight portal. iDelight portal is a portal that's developed in-house. It's something like YouTube. Today, you know, a lot of us learn through the YouTube. Something that is video, you can see instead of text-based. And so we put a lot of this video, all the video that's created in the YouTube here, can you see? So all these are the different titles of the lesson and the teachers in charge and the duration as well. And this is a detail of each of them. And this is a one that is called the space planning for interior design. And over here, you can see that the student have this room, you know, for example, a room of a flat or whatever, and they can actually place the furniture inside this room. They can actually design it, you know. So that was a classroom lesson. And so this is a video of this. Okay, so you can see that over here it's a bit double image. Yeah, so you can see that because it's in 3D stereoscopic. And actually the student will actually take them to a process here, can you see? And they have to answer all the different questions. And so in the feedback from the student and staff, we feel that actually when they do this exercise, there's actually a change in mindset, practice, and behavior. There's also the potential for lubrication, means you can actually make many different kind of scenario. And it promotes a lot of diversity in teaching methods, like the kinetics and visual learner, especially for our student here. And also it promotes teamwork, collaboration as well. So where is 3D VR learning applied? It's actually for things like out of bounds or restricted access work environment, training that could be dangerous or hazardous, working with large and high cost equipment. You cannot bring the equipment here, right? So you create a virtual equipment instead. And medical training that show human anatomy, like what you see just now. 3D objects that animate a particular process or workflow. And I'm very privileged that at the end of the tour, I saw this beautiful slogan. It said, learning is fun. It's immersive, interactive, and collaborative. Okay, my final point for today's presentation is VR in healthcare. So besides using the VR system for learning, we actually do a project. As I mentioned, we bring the project in and we get the student involved in the project. In this case, the students are involved in creating the serious game. And through this game, they learn programming, creativity. So this was a result of why we come out this project is because there's a result of shortage of physiotherapy. And you can see the figure here. In Hong Kong, they are talking about 1,580 occupational therapists and a ratio of 1 to 4,569. And in Singapore, we only have 5.47 million. And our ratio of 1 occupational therapist is 6,582 people. And also the patient has no therapy over the weekend. And they actually tried the commercial game, okay, but they did not meet the requirement because the commercial game, they find it too fast for the patient to catch up. So we actually need to do customization. And this is another one that I taken from the gym, you know, the rehab gym in the Lenchi Community Hospital. And you can see that the patient actually doing very repetitive tasks. And there's also articles that show in 2020, what you have is that there will be how to say is that in 2020, they're going to create this home-like environment, like a two-room flat, so that the patient will actually go through the various activities to bring them back to the normal life. So, and that is actually a good timing for us to create a virtual environment as well. And to replace this, not to replace this, but it's another way of doing this rehab. So actually we summarize the reason, the three reasons: shortage of therapy, commercial game do not meet the occupational therapy needs, limitation of space and presence of therapy, and we came out with a solution. And we actually embarked on a solution. So these are the solutions that we think of. And we actually wanted to have a wheelchair because it is safe for the patient, right? So they will not fall off. And we actually use an encoder, a rotary encoder, to detect the speed of the wheel, okay? And this will convert it into a virtual world. And we also have the next one, to create, for game, you need to a different level of difficulty. And we actually created this rotational stiffness level control mechanism. So there are different levels, so you can switch the mechanism, so that it you harder to actually move the wheel. And of course, we actually have the immersive virtual world with ADL. ADL, by the way, stands for Activities for Daily Living. It's a word that is always used by occupational therapists. And so we actually created this environment like the mock-up of a physical home. And this is what happened, the concept, okay, of our idea of solving the problem for the hospital. And we wanted to have a touchscreen panel, something a wheelchair like that, specialized wheelchair with a rotary sensor, and a curved screen for immersive effect. Right? And lastly, Leap Motion 3D sensor for the hand gesture. And actually, we also want to do another version that is VR, right, for the home-based one. So after the rehab in the hospital, the patient can go back home and can continue the rehab, but in a VR way. Yep. And we actually came out 4 tasks for doing this. The first task is that we came out with a block diagram. What are the things to use? What are the software to use? And we decided to use the Unity 3D. Because Unity 3D, you can actually plot it into a Oculus. And there are also other systems like the touchscreen control, the mechanical electronics. And this is how it looked like, a typical 3-room flat. We actually mock up this 3-room flat. It's a real 3-room flat. And assemble a team to do this project together with the hospital, occupational therapists. And of course, we need to seek funding. Because without funding, we can't do a project, right? So of course, we get funding, and we get this funding called a Social Innovation Research Fund, okay, from the government to do this project as well, in collaboration with the hospital. And this is how the concept of the prototype look like, okay? And this is the actual prototype where we actually lift up the wheel, but it still can move around, portable, but we lift up the wheel so that you can move it. And this is an encoder to do the speed. And this is the content. And I thought I want to show you a demo. This is a very important demo. After you see the whole thing, how it look like. Okay, so what I do is just show you how the whole thing works. So it's a wheelchair, and so you know you move around like a mouse like that, keyboard, and you can actually move in the environment. And what you do is you use a Leap Motion. With a Leap Motion, you can use a hand gesture, right, to touch the thing. You don't have to wear gloves because the hospital don't allow you to wear gloves. Yeah, so you use a hand to grab the object. Like going to the door, you have to go through the door, right? So I think due to the shortage of time, I'll move on. And maybe I'll just show you another video. This one is the Oculus Rift. So as I mentioned, right, from a game, you actually can convert the Oculus Rift very fast. 20% of the effort. Okay? So it's the same thing, you know, I wear the glove, wear the Oculus Rift, total immerse. I can still do the same thing like what I see just now. Yeah. Okay. And actually, we involve students in game creation. So there are 7 students here with us. And when they do this project, right, they actually learn programming as well. So actually, there's a student feedback, but I think I will not go through because of shortage of time. And so the project outcome is as follows. We have actually designed the system. The benefit is given here. These are the benefits given by the occupation therapists. And I'd like to show you the interesting and meaningful manner. And you can see that our game is actually customized so that you actually have different levels of difficulty. And also you can specify the minutes as well. So the patient can specify how many minutes they want to do the rehab. And we actually have a lot of interest from the public as well. And so in conclusion, this is what I want to say. Okay, I've actually explained the innovation of VR and direct application and how it's applied in education and benefit in student learning through using the system. And the last point that I share with you is how it applied in healthcare and its benefit in students developing a solution. So as they get excited about developing a solution, they are very motivated. And through this motivation, they learn the skill of programming. So in this case, it's a serious game development. So they learn the skill of programming and creativity because they have to build the model as well. Okay, so this is my contact, and you can contact me for this project if you are interested. We can discuss further how we can collaborate. Thank you very much.
谢谢郑经理为我们带来相当丰富精彩的演讲。接下来，面对工业4.0的时代，下世代的工作人力又应该做好什么准备？我们邀请泰国与芬兰等地致力于推动科技教育的 Kongkiti Phusavat 教授，以他长期担任曼谷都会管理局的教育顾问，并担任国家教育改革委员会顾问的观察，为我们演讲校园科技与学习发展蓝图。让我们欢迎 Professor Kongkiti Phusavat. Let's welcome Professor Kongkiti Phusavat, Education Advisor for Bangkok Metropolitan Administration and Professor of Kesar University. Sorry.
Okay, good morning. And again, I'm glad to be here in Taipei and Taiwan in general, as I have been making many trips to Taiwan for the past 10 years. And every trip has been very special, including this one. So the subject for my discussions, I think I need to start from slide number 1. Okay, I was asked to present the subject on how the ICT involved with the development of education in Thailand and what we have learned, what we should have done, and what we are doing. And again, this perspective is from the fact that we also have many projects that have not gone successfully, and we have some projects that's still ongoing, and also has been the success. And it deals with the ICT and what we call the pedagogy or learning and teachings. And I also was asked to describe about potential opportunity for Taiwan digital educations. So as you can see, in Thailand, we are moving, although slowly, to what we call Thailand 4.0. And the reason is that our industrial development eventually have to leave it behind to other countries to catch up, like in Vietnam, the Philippines, to Indonesia, because Thailand is no longer a very cheap labor country. I think I was very fortunate to work with the leading architect of what we call Eastern Seaboard Development Committee. And if you happen to go to Bangkok, from Bangkok to the east to Rayong, there's a lot of factories, Japanese, Korean, and definitely Taiwanese. In fact, from Bangkok, it's one of the largest industrial estate operator called Amata City, and his owner is a Taiwanese graduate. Okay, he graduated from NTU. Okay, so what I'm saying is that, we move from industrial development into we have to move to the creativity and innovations. And cheap labor will not succeed us unless we improve our educations. Because I think we just bought ourselves 30 years, and this is back in 1990. So we have 4 or 5 years left. And that's why our current Prime Minister, current government has focused a lot on education. And I think this is one of the key areas. The Prime Minister came under a very unusual circumstance due to the public uprising against the previous government. And he pledged to reform education, energy, and police. And I think all 3 of them have not been a success, but education has been moving a little bit forward. Because this is how Thai classroom look like. And this is not how we want to train the students to become digital citizens. And we have to make sure that students understand how to use ICT correctly. Because in Thailand, internet abuse is increasing. I'm not quite sure about in Taiwan, but internet abuse is increasing. In the past, we have physical abuse, punching, but that's against the law. But internet abuse is becoming a big concern because there's no law to protect children from internet abuse. Okay, and this is a serious problem. So that's why we want to make sure that we create children, or we create an educational system that graduates children who knows how to use digital technology properly. Not just throwing the computer or ICT to students. And this is the focus of ICT in basic education in Thailand. And we start when children are 6 years old. So our goal in the past, but I think we have forgotten these goals when we make a purchase, is that we want to use ICT to create human capital. We want to reduce digital divide in the country. We want to improve 21st century skill English and independent thinking through ICT. And we want to make sure that we improve the way we teach our students through ICT. So pedagogical improvement is very important if you want to create the environment for the new students, especially with Generation Z. And then we can use ICT to improve our school management. And as you know, we still have room to catch up. In Thailand, we have to catch up with our neighboring countries, not only in Singapore, in Malaysia, also in Taiwan, because we live in Asian community. And we should not be divided. We should be united because Asian is a very powerful continent. And I think ICT can play a very important part in linking different ethnic groups, different countries together. And if you look at global digital divide, Thailand is not doing badly, but we still can do better. And that's why in Thailand nowadays, we are looking at digital curriculums. We want to make sure that we create the curriculum that digital is part of teaching and learning. It's not only a subject matter, because we have 8 required subjects for students. ICT is one of the 8 subjects like mathematics, social science, physics, chemistry, biology. And we cannot teach ICT separately from biology. We cannot teach ICT separately from physics, chemistry, or social study. And that's why we need to come up with the new ideas on how we can break down the structure barrier. We want to make sure the contents are made so that students enjoy themselves, because once they graduate and work or go to the university, they will not enjoy themselves that much. So school is where they should enjoy themselves. And we also want to make sure that we improve digital proficiency for students and for our populations. And I will talk about this aspect in the last 2 slides about the potential of Taiwanese companies. And this is what we call the core or the foundation of Thailand 4.0. So this is Generation Z. I think the speaker from yesterday talked about Generation Z. So it's a younger generations. They know about how to use ICT ever since they're young. I still use tape cassette. I still use a floppy disk, 5 1/4. I don't think you have seen that anymore. I still use a video tape. And so, but I'm a Generation X. I was born during the Vietnam War. So I believe in taking order, stay in the classroom, listen to the teacher, do what you are told to do. But I think newer generations we cannot treat them this way. They are creative, they are thinker, and they should be, they should be enjoying themselves in the classrooms. And this is how we teach students today. And this is not going to be able to achieve for Thailand 4.0. So what is the ongoing problems for the basic educations? I was very fortunate that after we have a change in the government 3 years ago, I was asked to sit on the 2 committees in the National Reform Council. So when we have a change in the government through the popular uprisings, then the Royal Thai Army, Royal Thai Armed Forces set up 2 legislative bodies because we abolished the House of Representatives and the Senate. And the National Reform Council is one of the 2 legislative bodies, just like you have UNs, and so on. And this is our goal. We want school to be diverse, and we want to make sure that school the school has a creative environment. But the problem is we cannot achieve diversity and creativity because we still have the wrong paradigms even up to today. We believe that more teaching, more learning. And this is not true anymore, right? We also believe that longer classroom means students learn more knowledge. We believe more computer is better classrooms. Make it look nice, smart board, something that fancy. And a lot of time in Thailand, you have vendor, you have contractor that want to sell the products, but they have no idea about education. And that's why we have perfect storm. We have people from Ministry of Education who don't know about education, and we have the contractor or vendor who don't know about education. So they sell product to students, and you create a long-term effects for many generations to come. So we believe more tests mean more motivation for learning, and we also believe that more inspection means better school. So we inspect a lot, a lot of check sheet, checklists. And I think this is not how we want to create school for the future, because this is not what we should be doing to school, to students, to teachers. And throwing computer like this will not help, because if you don't change the way, or if the pedagogy does not change, having one computer instead of textbook will not help. You have to change the way you teach. And this is what I will discuss more about the failure, because III asked me to discuss about 1 tablet per child policy. I was very reluctant to talk about this because, as a Thai citizen, I feel ashamed. Okay, this is not how we should do to the students. So what happened is that this is created in 2012, by the previous government. They have good intention. They want to improve education, and they want to address inequality in digital divide. Okay. The problem is we start our curriculum when they're 6 years old. So in other words, for the primary education, we don't know how they come about. But after they enter the 1st grade or 6 years old, we're going to throw tablet at them. I don't think this is going to be helpful, because toys or tools have to be taught properly. What is the leading cause of death in Thailand? Not cancer, but car accidents. Okay, for the past 5 years, leading cause of Thai population death is through road accidents, because we don't teach population properly how to drive properly, correctly. And that's why you throw tools to students, they will hurt more than they will help. Okay? And so the government want to give away a tablet to the 1st grader, hoping that being able to connect to the internet and working online, they will improve the quality of their education. I think that's a good aspirations. But at the same time, we also dealing with a contractor from China. And this is not the main producer. They are the distributor. So what happens, more than 30% of the 1st batch is broken or need repair. And nobody came to repair, because they're not producer. They are distributor. They are middlemen. And this is something that in Taiwan you need to understand the complexity. Because if you're a middleman and you need a lot of repair, you cannot handle that. You need the producer to do that. So don't repeat the same mistake like Thailand did. And at the same time, you look, this particular company filed for bankruptcy after 1 year. So you can learn more. Again, this is a political case and corruption case. I don't want to discuss about internal politics in Thailand, but you can read more through these web links to learn about why this is not, we should not be doing to children. So what happened is, why is it that we have failed? We learned that buying more tablet and computer will not solve the problems. Secondly, what we need is not more computer, but we need in-service training to teachers. Because many teachers in Thailand, they have graduated for many years. They are part of Generation X like me. So in other words, we will not change our pedagogy just because we have computer. We will teach the way we have been teaching. And computer is just the toys that sometimes we just ignore. So we have to provide in-service training, and then you want to make sure that the use of computer is consistent with other policy decisions. Teacher, we have comfort zone. I'm a university professor. From the public university, I have my comfort zone. I teach poorly or I teach well, I get paid. So for me, bringing more computer means I have to do more work. But why my pay is the same? So in other words, you have to have other policy to support the need to use or integrate ICT. For example, we want to integrate ICT to reduce classroom time. We want to integrate ICT for team teaching methodology. Then I think teacher will implement. Otherwise, teacher will not implement. Because computer is added burden to them. And we also need to provide technical support, and sometimes we also ignore the fact, and that's why this particular policy is not a success. And again, this is the repair. This Chinese company, they make a contract with our Ministry of Education, Office of Basic Education Commissions. So the tablet was sent to different schools. The problem is the contract signed between the Chinese company and Ministry of Education. So the company said, I'm not responsible to go to different schools. And the tablet were distributed throughout the country. And that's why repair did not happen. Okay, that's why repair did not take place. Because the company said, my contractor, my counterpart is Ministry of Education, not school. I would not go to the school. And I think this is something that we need to be aware of as a contractor, also as a buyer. And, the payment is this big part because the contractor does not recognize the school or did not recognize the school request because this was my main contractor. I signed a contract with Ministry of Education, not the school. The school is a separate entity. Then we also have the ownership issues and we also have the requirement issues because, again, there's a talk between the bureaucrat at Ministry of Education and the contractor. They never talk to teacher or students. Why Suvarnabhumi or Bangkok, New Bangkok International Airport is not highly ranked? Because we never invite customer when we decide the airport. How can you start a project without understanding your customers? And what are the facts that we have completely forgotten? There's a lot of study, but that in order to integrate technology, then you have to change the way we conduct classroom teaching and learning. I think we learned from your school. But this is again from OECD. The results show no, improvement. If you use a lot of IT. And I think this is from OECD report. You can go to the BBC website again. And then using computer does not improve pupils' performance. And then I think in order to be very effective, we have to change our pedagogy. And that's why our Royal Thai government chose Finland to be one of the example of the countries that we need to at least observe. And this is what the Finnish pedagogy. ICT is a tool. So whether you teach English, physics, social study, art, even home economics, you have to use ICT. So ICT is not a separate subject. but ICT is the tools. In Thailand, we treat ICT as a subject, not the tools. And the success that I would like to show is based on what we have been doing at the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration. This is a current acting governor, and this is the former ambassador of Finland to Thailand. She left her post on August 30th. And this is a network of the teacher, and I will explain to you in a few minutes about this case, because BMA decided to send teacher, not bureaucrats, to Finland for training, in-service training, and then they learn a lot about how to use ICT properly. In Finland, ICT is not the most important part. Teachers are the most important asset. Without teacher, there's nothing will ever happen in the classrooms. So ICT should be helpful, not be viewed as a burden. Secondly, we want to make sure kids have time to be kids. Children should be children. You cannot make children become workers in the classrooms. And that's why, we see the roles from the BMA. Don't forget that in Thailand, BMA is a part of what we call local government. In Thailand, we have schools that belong to Ministry of Education, and we have schools that belong to Ministry of Interior, because it belongs to the local government. BMA is a local government. If you travel to Bangkok, when you take SkyTrain, it does not belong to the central government. It belongs to BMA. It's a local government. BMA, the size of school is quite big, 438 schools, 360,000 students, and 15,000 teachers. That's for local government alone, not Ministry of Education. And I was asked by National Reform Council to work with the local government, because we know that Ministry of Education would not lead the reform. So this is what happened in Finland. In Finland, they believe that learning means seeing, speaking, touching, playing, interacting, engaging, observing, and listening. That's why in Finland, they don't throw computer to students or ICT or tablet, but they teach basic skills. For example, this is a classroom in Finland, and normally this is, I went there in April. I also just came back from Finland, but in April, then they took the group of BMA school teacher for in-service training. Then they normally ask children, what is the weather today? Because you need to have observation skills. You cannot leave home without observing the weather. In Finland, it's quite cold. When I was there, it was like -5, but in Finland, you cannot complain that today is cold, because it depends on how you dress. That's what the Finnish mentality. Every day is nice, depends on how you dress. If you don't dress properly, it's cold. At the same time, they also want to make sure students observe each other. So normally when the school take note, attendance, then they ask students to, instead of teacher ask a student to raise their voice, they ask student, why don't you look at your friends? Are they here? If they're not, then please raise your hand. And that's why this is who's missing. If you miss class for 2 days, then the student will call the student and say, why are you missing from school? Are you sick? You need help. They don't throw tablets and ICT, okay, to the students. They prepare, they design, they develop, they test. And this is how ICT is used in Finland. It's a tool to complement learning. So this is a primary school. They just learn about urban planning, social responsibility, environment. And they can use tablet to search for future urban community. They can use Minecraft to show, or instead of using ICT, they can build the model. So there are different ways a student can show how they understand the materials. ICT is one of many ways. They can do the storyboard. They can do by YouTube. So it's not fixed. In Thailand, it's fixed. And that's why don't forget, we are, adult here, we like flexibility. How come we never give flexibility to students? Instead of taking the exam, why don't you say, well, you can take the exam, you can have the poster, you can have storybook, you can have the storyboard, you can do by YouTube, or you can do by like Minecraft to show. In Finland, ICT is part of the tools that we have to use every day. So this is in social study, they study about the dog. in different continents. And, you know, they look at the dogs in their hometown, and then they try to understand the role of the dogs and how to treat the dog nicely and humanly. And then they also want to look at the dogs in Asia because we were there. They say, how come Asian dogs have a very short hair? I said, well, because we are hot, so we don't need a long hair dog, you know, with long fur. But they use ICT to communicate, and this is in the home economic class. So they do the clothes design, but they want to sell to Asian market. Then this lady came up and said, well, I want to look at how Asian people dress. So ICT is part of teaching and learning in every subject, whether it's English, home economics, physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics. This is what we have done with the BMA students. And again, BMA school, they normally take the poorest students. Those who are rich, they go to international school. Those who are rich, they go to the public school or some of the private school or university training school, teacher training school, or we call demonstration school. Those who go to BMA school, they're the poorest. They have no future to go to the university because they're too poor. And those we cannot leave behind in the society. Okay, and that's what BMA school. I think this is something that they want to do a lot, to students. They want to create citizenship. They want to create a sense of being part of Thailand. When we have a political crisis back in 2010, when you saw the city of Bangkok, part of them are burning. This is on the news. I was asked to come, to the room, and we have like a few teenagers just burned down some of the road on Brahma 4th, which is like a main road in Bangkok. I asked the children, I said, why are you burning for 1,000 baht or 500 baht? You know what they said to me? I'm not part of Thailand, but even though they're Thai, there's no sense of citizenship because they feel like they are being left in the society. The society have left them. And that's why for BMA, we want to make sure that children, understand about the environment. Don't forget BMA has a smart room, smart classboards, or we call smart classrooms. We have world-class laboratory. But the students never pay attention to the world-class laboratory because they have nothing to do with their own life. So we have a group of teachers decide to use the environment because the environment subject, you can integrate chemistry, biology, ICT, and social study. And then you can strengthen the use of 21st century skill. So for the BMA student, then they got together, and then they decide to use a Google map to see the polluted canal. Don't forget, in Thailand, we have many polluted canal or waterway that we want to clean up, but central government cannot clean up all of them. So you need to rely on the local government. And, they look at the map, they want to know, where are the water for discharge. They look at the residential map, factory map, and then they talk to the factory owner and say, please, if you have something, don't discharge directly to the canal. Having students knock on their door, I think it's probably friendlier than city inspector knock on their door. And again, the students work well together. They communicate that, this is, we have talked to this person. They also try to do a lot of experiment. They try to clean up. So they use ICT, but not in the way that we teach ICT subject. And we also use what you call the Google Map, because some of the school, they also bake bakery to sell, extra money. So this is a finished way that we want to adapt. School in Thailand, no fixed classrooms. At the same time, we want to create an environment that students can enjoy themselves. And don't forget, in Finland, not every children have ICT or tablet, only 1/3. It depends on how teacher teach. 1/3 have tablet, 1/3 can do class discussion, 1/3 can go to the library. Not every children have the tablet. You don't have to. It depends on how the teacher teach. And they want to create an environment like they feel like, they enjoy themselves. So for the potential Taiwanese digital education in Thailand, then I do believe that ICT and pedagogy development is very important. If you want to develop the solution, ICT for pre and in-service teacher training, ICT for early childhood education. If you look at the brain development, In Thailand, we start too late because our basic education starts when the kids are 6 years old. We have to use ICT to stimulate thinking, and by the time we taught tablet to children, it's a bit too late. That's why early childhood education is extremely important in Thailand nowadays, because you look at the brain, 95% or 90% already been developed before they are 6 years old. And we can do ICT for so many applications. And normally we don't invest a lot. And this is how the preschool or daycare center look like in Thailand. And think about 1 year from now, the government throw the tablet to them. How good could it be? You have contractor or vendor who want to sell products. But we also have to understand the significant implication, for children. And a few last slides, I want to talk about ICT can be an integral part of improvement. Don't forget, if you want to improve the classrooms, feedback to pupils don't cost a lot, but improve a lot. Peer tutoring, teacher training teacher, student training student, doesn't cost a lot, but improve a lot. And also collaborative group learning. And this is a proven study. So you don't have to invest a lot to improve. And my last 3 slides, this is on the promotion of Taiwanese digital education in Thailand. I think it is very important that for companies in Taiwan, you need to understand the level of education that you want to focus. You cannot focus all. From early childhood to adult or to higher education, you need to focus which level. And you need to understand that we have different types of school in Thailand. Public school that belong to Ministry of Education, belong to Ministry of Interior, or belong to the university. Just like we have normal, teacher normal school here, university in Taiwan. That's considered public school in Thailand. We also have private school. Don't forget, you can also take advantage of Taiwan Business Association. Okay? And don't forget, if your companies, there are a lot of Thai students here in Taiwan. Use them as an input. Don't have to fly to Thailand, right? You want to learn about customer, use Thai students. At least they just went through their high school. Many of them are here for undergraduate study. Many of them are here for graduate study. Use them. Cheaper, but more effective. And you can hear voice of customer directly. Don't talk to the bureaucrats. Won't help. And they ask for more money from you, okay? And so I think for me, then it is very important that you take advantage of the big business association in Taiwan. And for me, for education, my last 2 slides, okay? For the education, it's not about the school. In Thailand, we have a lot of tourists, but we have problem with English. So taxi driver can use Taiwanese innovativeness in education. People from the airport, can use Taiwanese educational innovativeness. So don't only focus on the school, but look at the tourism industry. We need a lot of training with ICT training. And we also need education tools in how to manage costs. Because don't forget, Thailand, we are reaching the aging, stable population, and our population will start to decline because nobody has children anymore. And the median age in Thailand now is 35 years old. So we are getting old. So we need to reduce costs. So if you think about how ICT can manage costs in educational institutions in Thailand, that's also a potential market. So that's conclude my remarks, and thank you for your attention.
谢谢 Professor Kongkiti 相当精彩的演说。接下来我们即将进行焦点座谈，请各位稍后。接下来，我们即将进行亚太智慧校园未来发展的焦点座谈。首先，邀请我们的主持人资策会教研所陈嘉恒组长，以及我们的语坛人朱子颖校长、郑传安经理， Professor Kongkiti 以及澳门电信黄永简总监，欢迎4位上台与我们观众面对面进行座谈。
时间宝贵，我们就赶快开始哦。经过以上4场新加坡、台湾、香港、泰国的分享，那我们很高兴在这个 panel 的时候有澳门电信的黄总监加入我们。那在这个澳门电信 CTM 作为澳门市占率超过1/3最大的电信商，那他们在5年前发展了 Digital Macau 这个专案。那我们想要多了解在CTM, we want to know more about Digital Macau. You provide services and learning material on a platform. Can you introduce more about the project?
Okay, actually, we have the Digital Macau project since 5 years ago. And we understand because when we're going to move a modern century, we need more infrastructure building. So we start from the infrastructure building with the fiber optic. And come to this year, we have finished the fiber optic coverage. We can say we have 100% coverage in Macau, which is the most fiber optic coverage in the almost in the world. And now we have other components building in the Digital Macau to make it a more application in the society. Let's say one of the important element is education. We understand. So we apply this as a key elements in this project. Some around same as the Digital Macau 4 to 5 years ago, we study what is the critical point in the education in Macau. We understand normally we have the contents in the classroom, but when they going to transform their the teaching and learning way, it's hard to convert into ICT solution because mostly the teacher, they are not ICT people because they are focusing the teaching and learning on way only. So what is the good solution to them? In mostly they may get solution from somewhere partially. Let's say maybe the projector, maybe there's a computer, and maybe there's a smart cardboard. But actually, it cannot help too much because the teacher, they need to spend too much time to manage and operate it. So we are trying to come up an idea to build a platform. That means we can control every the device as a single solution for the teacher to manage in an easy way. It's the first step. And the second is we want to build a pool of the contents as, for teacher and student. So that means we are now different publisher and also the content provider contribute their contents in the platform. That means they allow the teacher and student to pick up which level of the content suiting for the classroom, suiting for the after the school, and maybe the teacher can easily find a way to complete the school contest in 1 and 2 hours after the school hour, rather than they need to prepare a lot of the time to prepare the contest in before. So end up we have this idea come up in last year, and we introduced to Macau schools, and the schools start to try this platform. And this year we also launched this platform as a globalization concept. So that means we allow the people from around the world to use it for free. And it can help most of the teacher if they don't have ICT idea on, and also the technology too much, and then they can try to use this way.
Okay, thank you. You point out that really relevant about the Professor Phusavat talk about one tablet, one child, this project. So we should consider more about the integration, and we also have the 郑经理，he's responsible for R&D manager. So we also have support team, right? So may I know more about next time we implement ICT technology tools at schools? What will you suggest? Most emphasize more. What's your suggestion?
So if you want to implement ICT at school, I think the questions that you need to ask to the teacher is that how your tools or your solution help. Don't forget teachers, they are human beings, so they spend time in the classroom preparing materials, assessing students, become student counselor, make sure that they're moving along in their learning and development. So any solution, for me, for the first criteria is, can that tool help me? Okay. Help me with time, help me with understanding about children. I think that's probably the first and foremost important thing. Secondly, I think it is also very important that the training, because pedagogy that the teacher has to use in the classroom with our computer is hugely different from what they have to do with the computer. And that's why in Thailand, in school, they don't allow children to bring mobile phones. And for me, this is ridiculous, because we use mobile phones every day. It's a tool that we use. Just like in Thailand, if you want to solve the accident problem, then we will not allow people to drive a car, then we're going to create some chaos, right? And that's why not allowing mobile phones in school is not the right decision, but how we integrate and blend. So I think the pedagogical training is very important. And I think at the same time, you also have to look at the life cycle use, whether it's upgradability, repair, maintenance, and I think you can learn a lot from the mistake in Thailand, so that you can come up with the better solutions. And talk to Thai students in Taiwan. There are many of them, because your government gives a lot of scholarship to Thai students. They are your voice of customer firsthand. Triple I can organize the seminar inviting the Thai students who are here in Taiwan. And trust me, they are eager to help, because they appreciate the generosity of Taiwanese government. And at the same time, there are Taiwan Business Association that Triple I already know or in contact. And there are a lot of influential figures in Thailand who have Taiwanese connection. Like in Thailand, the largest industrial estate operator in the whole Southeast Asia, or the third largest in the world. He is NTU graduate. So you have to take advantage of the Taiwanese connection in Thailand. Then you can have a better solution design development.
Thank you, share your experience. We want to know, being a manager of R&D department, so you can develop your product. So how do you help, like staff at school? Let me challenge on training on pedagogy implement. How do you help? How can you help?
Okay. So in the ICT area, we are looking at the area on BYOD. BYOD is actually bring your own device. But I think we also want to understand the fact that we don't want to force it down onto the teachers, or that everyone must use BYOD. It's a good technology, right? So what we do is basically we say that this BYOD will only roll out to certain modules. So one of the modules that we roll out is something like the multimedia, where there's a lot of content creation, only certain module. And to us, the BYOD is not tablet, because tablet, you cannot do content, right? You can read, and actually it's a laptop. So in this case, we encourage the student to get a laptop, so that they bring to the class, they own the laptop, and they can actually bring back the work to home, and continue to do it. Yeah. So that's our concept of BYOD. Not a tablet. To a lot of us, it's tablet. But over here, it's a laptop. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we want to ask Principal Zhu. So as a user and administrator at school, What's your suggestion for also educational industry?
Yeah, I think about continue the discussion about one-to-one computing. I think in this part we should conclude into terms we call sense of ownership. I mean, if we get the device who own it, this is a very interesting discussion. I discussed with some teachers. They asked me, how can my children get their own PC? We don't have that top up from the government to give a PC, but we do it, you know, bottom up. I mean, let the parents and let the kids. We want to have PC in home so they can own the sense of learning by using computer. So just share some more experience to you. I start my first BYOD class in 2004. I mean, quite 12 years ago. Yeah. So when we begin to have that project, we start with convince the parents to buy a PC for their kids to bring it back to home. So we are not talking about, you know, how much you have to spend, blah blah blah. But we start with why. The reason why, because you need it, the kids need it. So the parents would love to invest on it. One is they take part in the project. They will not complain the PC is slow. The kids will not. We will love their tablet. They will not throw it away, so reduce the list of repair, and then most important, the parents, because they are part of it. So they will spend more time to use the PC with the kids to help them to learn. And last but not the least, the most important part is our teachers, because the teachers will not do something that causes more workload. I mean, if the government have a policy, so we have to follow. So lots of workload in case then. But all the projects, I think most projects in Hong Kong, we are bottom up. I mean, the teachers, we want that. We ask for it. So please give us resources. We all know that the first setup cost is very high. I mean, everything is like that. You know, try to remember 100 years ago, the first one who put electricity into your home, everyone think you're crazy. But because the cost is so high, but today it becomes your basic, you know, infrastructure for all buildings. So the setup cost is high. However, the average cost can help teachers' time to analyze their teaching effectiveness. I think is more important.
Thank you. 所以刚刚我们就是在聊到了关于在导入了一些学习科技，那这各位专家都给我们他们在经验上在各个国家导入的一些实务的建议哦，这非常宝贵。因为我们自己也是老师，也是父母，所以我们需要今天的经验很宝贵。那在接下来呢，我们是希望各位都是智慧校园的推手啊。那依据对于产业，我们是在经济部工业局支持之下发展这样的产业，所以依据产业的角度啊，下个阶段你们在座各位专家会认为最急需发展的服务，现在 iCampus 里面的缺乏的这个服务的 solution， 或者是说最有潜力的 solution。So may I know move to the next stage of iCampus? What's the most potential department? The part.
From my point of view, the most necessary to build, because I believe we have the sense to accept this new model already, even the teacher and also the principals. But we still need a transform from that stage, because most of the teachers I just mentioned, they are not the ICT people. They don't have this idea. So they mean what you can help them is let's say, because we have, just now I mentioned we have the platform already. Maybe we need contents to shorten their times, because when the contents is ready in the platform, the teacher just pick up what is the best one to make the idea, the concept sharp in the classroom. So we would like to teach the student know the question and find the answer. So that means the contents should help that way. It's very important for the next movement.
Because I have talked to Principal Drew, I know you use the tablet to assessment and homework. So this.
Yes, I think basically the Taipei project, the Smart School project, is quite good to me because you try to integrate, the government, the admin, the health, and learning together. For me, it's really interesting because in Hong Kong we separate the items in ICT. For the next step, I would love to see in Taipei is how you connect those data to some conclusion. Let's say I'm really interested to know that I saw some demonstration students are using smartwatch, and then you can do the attendance, security, and also know how long they travel every day, right? So I will ask a lot of questions like, if a student walk more steps, will they improve their learning? Because you already often have the data. For example, if the student late every day, is it anything related to his learning? Maybe he learn better. I don't know. Maybe you're talking about you control the air conditioner. The status of the oxygen or CO2, something like that. So maybe you can know that when you turn off the air conditioner, can this improve students' learning? Those are the beauty of using big data to change human behavior. I mean when you start up the project with integrate those ideas together, I think I would love to see how we can use that data to help teachers and government to make their policy.
Oh, thank you. So you ask a lot of questions to our companies, and about we have done some of these kind of research about exercise, and their grade will improve. Yes, that's one of our team member. So about Zheng经理, can we know what's your interested most? What part?
Okay, I think the iCampus is a very, very good idea with the 6i integrated. And I like Mr. Chu say that if you have a data analytics tool to understand the data, and you can actually make it better in the next stage, keep improving the system. So in IT, we're also doing the same. We're going to acquire a system to do data analytics. And so some of the data that we get is the grade, the student get every year, and the attendance, why they didn't come, and the different family background. And because one of the country, and they are very poor, so sometimes they just skip classes. And sometimes we need to understand, how to solve this problem. So data analytics is one of the way. The other area that we are also embarking on is what we call the makerspace. The makerspace is a concept that besides just learning, can we give the student a more holistic kind of learning outside the classroom? So makerspace is an initiative that the student actually learn outside the classroom. So they can sign up for courses. And some of these things is that they do it themselves, They do it themselves, and it can derive from electronics. It can be all kinds of things, For example, we are looking at making a saber, those Star Wars, like lightning saber. And there's a lot of electronics involved. So they actually learn it and they can play and can take home with them. Of course, they have to pay the cost material. And that also inspire creativity, as well as we hope to inspire entrepreneurship as well. Hopefully they can go out and do their own business. Creativity is one of the things that we hope to achieve here.
所以我们听到专家的意见，都认为让大数据的研究验证和服务都在支撑这个理想中的智慧校园。那that's one. So may I know in your picture, what's your idea iCampus?
Well, for me, iCampus, right now it's being applied, at the school level, but I think it can be extended to the early childhood education. Like I said, in Thailand, as you saw in the graph, the brain development starts even when the mother is still pregnant, all the way to 5-6 years old. And for the early childhood education, normally we start from 3 to 6 years old, or even 2 to 6 years old. And like we call daycare center. And we also need to know the development. Right now in Thailand, because of parents are working, mom and dad are working, and we leave children with nannies who come from different countries, migrants worker. So think about how much brain they can develop, when you leave them with the migrant worker. and who have no educational background. And by the time we try to interfere with the learning developments, it's too late. Okay, so for me, the iCampus is, instead of looking at the campus of the school, what about daycare center? Because in Thailand, based on statistics by the Thai Health Promotion Foundation, which is an NGO group, 1/3 of Thai children now are classified as a slow learner. IQ below 95, but above 75. The reason is that they have not been developed properly. The way they consume the products, like they drink the yogurt drink, which is very sweet. They have potato chip, which is very salty. And they're not having enough nutrition. And that's why for early childhood education, you need to look at the learning development, safety, and health. And I think this is probably another application that I think people in Thailand will appreciate, because we cannot replace the labor without poorly educated children. And right now we cannot do anything about them, because by the time we try to interfere, it's too late. And that's why for me the iCampus is the campus look pretty broad, but if you can narrow it down to the daycare. Yesterday the last question that was asked before the lunch break was that when you have a lot of migrants in the daycare center school, what you do? I think a lot of school in Thailand, we don't accept migrant worker, but for the BMA or local government, municipality, we have no choice but to accept all the migrant worker children who are born in Thailand illegally, because the parents come to Thailand illegally. And for the BMA, for the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, at least about 30% of children, the pupils under 6 years old, they're from migrant worker. And when they have gone there, then a lot of time they have like a powder on the cheek. That they come from Myanmar. Okay, so what happened? We try to integrate them, not through ICT first, but instead of separate them, we asked the children to speak Myanmar to Thai children, and Thai children teach them Thai language. So in other words, this is a simple solution, but then we can track using ICT about learning and development, because we cannot segregate migrant workers. We have learned that in Europe. So we have to be able to integrate them through educations. And that's why ICT can be the big part. And I think Taiwanese in Thailand have a good image. Taiwanese, Japanese, they tend to be in the same group. So Thai people, we trust when you say, well, it's made in Taiwan. That's why Din Tai Fung is quite popular in Thailand. Okay, and beef noodles and all those shabu shabu. So people trust the Taiwanese brand. So I think that's a good start. It's a matter of understanding the customer, developing it, and try to find the partner to help adapt. And you have a lot of partners in Thailand, because look at how many Taiwanese companies in Thailand. Okay.
Almost the end of this panel, Professor Phusavat made me feel deeply moved. And maybe I think Yi Chang Tsai, our Deputy Director General, has some question?
Okay, we can merge you with Thailand. Because we all Thai. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. And our audience have any question now? Oh, my character say.
启动许用中文发问可以吗？就是说，我非常很荣幸有来自这个各个国家的各个区域的那个经验跟我们分享。那我这边很想了解一下，就是说，在所谓智慧校园整个教育的推广里面，他们所谓的内容的标准，因为这个会牵扯到以后将来在整个教育的教学方法、教学环境、教学的整个会跟着影响。最重要就是说会跟着所谓分享的这个经济，或是分享的扩散极大的很大的效益。那我不知道在这个区块，在台湾的经验，或是各国在这个区块的重视，有什么样的规划？谢谢。
About a standard to communicate with any iCampus between iCampus. So
let me share some experience in Hong Kong to you. Actually, we're proud of our Hong Kong curriculum because it is oriented, and you can see our results of our curriculum from our exam in PRISA and also in Timbers and Pearls. In Hong Kong, our education bureau, they have very long-term curriculum development guide for all the teachers. So we separate into 5 key stages for the kids we separate everything we need to learn, and we have a very clear roadmap. And then the next thing is that this roadmap, this curriculum, we'll give it to the market to help us to handle it. I mean, all the publisher or the content provider or even some ICT companies, they will follow our bureau's, education bureau's roadmap to make their own curriculum or content or materials or platform. So everything is well set. The final thing is that they need to send those materials back to our bureau to have to approve that once they can't get the approve from our bureau. So actually, as a school or as a principal, we cannot adopt it. We cannot ask the parents to buy it. So I can say a lot of my friends from the publisher or the companies, they say it is very hard for them to pass that standard. But we know that if we set that standard quite in a not easy way, in a higher standard, so it can control we have a better content to our students. So this is the way we do it in Hong Kong.
Okay. 因为时间的关系，我们就让 Professor Phusavat 回答。
To answer your question about the impact of iCampus, especially on students, I think you have to look at the digital citizenships. I think the requirement, because at the end, you invest a lot of money to create iCampus, then children, at least behave in a way that you wish to see as a digital citizenship. At least in Taiwan, you should have the record on internet abuse. Has it been in decline? Because internet abuse is a serious issue in Thailand. Many children are driven to commit suicide, not because they have bad grades, but because of internet abuse. And I think this is something that, we have to be aware of, because ICTs are tools, like mobile phones are tools. You can misuse it. And then if you happen to take some photo that you do not supposed to take and you distribute it, then you have a lot of audience. And I think that's part of internet abuse. And I think, in my opinions, if you want to create a campus, it's not the investment, it's not the achievement, but the behavior. Are you creating the human capital for Taiwan in the future? If so, at least you have to look at the negative aspect. And then you can also look at the positive contribution from that. But you have to look at both sides. And that's why sometimes I hesitate when I see they show all the score, achievement score, because we know in Asian we study for the exam. Unlike in other countries in Europe, sometimes they don't study for the exam. And that's why when I see the score, sometimes I feel skeptical. Let me tell you, in Thailand, if students are poor, in terms of if they don't do well at school, sometimes they ask not to come to take the PISA exam. Okay, so and we study for the exam, and I think we have to change that. And that's why for me, look at the negative side, like half full, half empty glass. You have to look from the negative. If you don't have a negative side, then you can look at the positive. That's why for me, the most negative one from the ICT is internet abuse. That's why in Finland now it's become the crime to have internet abuse, not physical abuse.
所以Phusavat 教授提到就是像这一些 ICT 的导入也有一些副作用。承接这一位提问者我们就在这个导入 ICT 同时，其实我们在行为，在使用者的行为也应该要建立标准准备度，以及去做一些记录和测量。那今天的研讨会感谢大家的莅临，那我们就谢谢这4位专家，那也谢谢大家的一些交流，谢谢大家。
今天谢谢4位讲师的分享，今天上午的研讨会就此告一段落。提醒各位来宾，您的手上有一份问卷调查表，请您填写完毕之后缴回我们的柜台服务处。如果您有租借口译设备的，也请到服务台归还并取回您的证件。最后，今天我们在 H 展区依然有国际智慧校园展览，欢迎各位前往体验。 提醒各位来宾，如果您需要登记公务人员时数或者是教师研习时数的，请别忘记到我们场外服务台登记。今天谢谢大家的参与。